Good morning and welcome back to my channel. It's been a little minute, but I've been working. You might notice that I'm in a bigger space. We'll talk about that another time. So today we have an install, microloc twist install. I'm going to show you the hair I'm going to be using. I'm going to show you a quick video of how I prep the hair for the appointment, and then I'm going to try to take you step by step with this install the best I can. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, subscribe to your girl's channel, and let me show you the hair. So this is the Milky Way hair that I've been using. I actually purchased this from my local beauty supply store. I get the 16-inch. Well, this client is getting 16-inch, but it comes in 10, 12, 14, 16. And yeah, I like using this hair because it's already pre-stretched out, so it makes the grabbing of it a little easier. So I'm just going to show you. Normally the human hair bulk, Afro kinky textured hair comes like in a bowl, or not a bowl, but just shrunk down, of course. This is more stretched out, so this makes for less for me. I waste less hair using this hair, and I'm able to really work a little bit faster with pulling the parts out, the pieces out, and getting everything organized. So I'm going to show you how I prep this hair. Right now it's still in the net, which I don't take the net off after I wet it, because by prepping I mean just I wet it, but I just keep the net on it and pull from it. So let me show you what I do. I know quite a few of you are trying to do are doing your microloc extensions or attempting to do them at home by yourself. So that's a good tip to help you, because with that bulk hair, it can get balled up, and there could be a lot of hair wasted. But if you wet it first, it stretches the curl out, so you're able to pick them out, stretch them out a little bit. And then you always want to have a spray bottle. Mine is broke, the top anyways. But you always want to have a mister bottle nearby, because once the hair starts to dry, you want to spray it down again to get it wet, because it's just easier to work with like that. So I'm going to drink some of my coffee. I have about 10 minutes or so, less than that, before my client gets here. So I will show you guys the process, and I hope you enjoy this video. Keep watching. Okay, let's jump right in. So this client came to me after combing out her, I believe they were traditional lock extensions, if I remember correctly. She actually combed them out the day before, I think it was, and it did not go as she thought. It was a little harder than she thought it was going to be. So there were probably maybe like 6 or so left in her head that I combed out without a problem. And then she had ended up snipping her hair in a few places where it was the toughest, because you get frustrated. So with this hair style, or install I should say, I worked in sections because the hair is shorter. I feel like I can control the parts better that way instead of parting out the whole head. And then I blow dried each section that I felt like I needed to actually see the length, so I could see what I was actually working with. So it turned out to be just fine. So yeah, she wasn't upset, but she felt bad for coming in with some of her locks still in, and I was like, girl, I'm gonna get you together. Don't even front or be upset. It's okay, I don't mind. So let's talk about my method of installing. So I like to do the feed-in method, just like knotless braids. When I'm choosing how many pieces I'm adding, it depends on how fine the hair is or how thick it is. It also depends on the thickness of the strands that I have laid out. And I might pick, the thinner ones and add 2, or I might pick the thicker ones and only have to add 1. For this specific section, I added 2, and then I braid as far as I feel like I need to have it be secure, and then I twist it the rest of the way. After I wet the hair, I like to take a piece out and start pulling strands from it and laying them out just to have the process go faster, so I can just kind of like pull from them and go and pull, and then, you know, once I use that batch, I lay out another maybe 8 or 10 strands and do the same thing. So when choosing rotations, it really depends on how tightly I braided the hair at the root. So a lot of times the hair is braided tight enough that I only need to do 2 rotations. And it also is dependent upon where I am on the head and how thick that hair is. For example, I'm not going to do a 4-point rotation around the edges, most likely ever, because nobody really has full edges. It's normally just finer hair. So I'll do maybe a 3-point to 2-point rotation. But depending on how tight the braid is, sometimes I might just need to do 1. I'll go through 1 time and it's done. So you really just have to consider where you are on the head, consider how tightly you've braided, and then you don't want to put the client in any pain, and you don't want them to have any breakage. So consider that when choosing your rotations. So normally during this part of the appointment, I'm feeling great because I'm like, oh, I finished. I take down all the bantu knots, and then I hydrate the hair, rehydrate it, because I hydrate as I go, but I rehydrate it, add some oil to it, and then I'm also going over the steps of home care with my client at this time too. I'm also asking them, how does your scalp feel? Does it feel too tight anywhere? Which I always get the answer no. And then I ask them, do they have any questions about what they need to do at home after I explain what they should do. And that's really the whole thing. We book their retie before they leave, and that is normally, how it goes. If you guys have any questions, anything you want to ask me, please leave it below. I try to get through as many comments as I can, so I will answer it in due time. You guys have a great Labor Day, because it's about to be Labor Day, and I'll holler back, youngin'. Whoop whoop.